In this video, I want to talk about claims, how to prevent claims in your box trucking business. All right, we're going to get straight into it. All right, the main question people want to know as far as claims is who's responsible, who should be the person paying for the claim. Now, we know if you're running for a logistics company, if you're running middle mile, you're running final mile, and you're on a contract and they send you out with freight, they send you out with furniture, they send you out with appliances, they send you out with pallets of stuff. Once it hits your box truck, you're responsible for it, right? If something were to happen while you're out in the field and it becomes damaged, that logistics company that you're running for is not going to pay for that freight. They're not going to pay for it. They're going to charge it back to you, right? Now, the question is what happens at that point? If you are, let's say, an owner operator who's not out in the field, you're not on your trucks, do you take that hit, or do you take it out of your drivers or your employees' paychecks? I'm sure many of you have heard the term "the shit rolls downhill." So it rolls downhill. The last stop of the hill is the employee, right, or the driver, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that were in possession and were handling this freight when whatever damage to property or damage to the freight happened. So ultimately, they are responsible for it. This is the way I operate. This is the way a lot of companies operate, as far as claims is concerned. Now, taking money from an employee or taking money from a driver is not something that no one wants to do. People come to work every day to make a living so they can put food on their table. So I'm going to show you in this video how to prevent claims. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you got to take something from someone or deduct something from someone's check. So the main key to preventing claims is 1, proper training, and 2, proper equipment, right? Let's start with proper training. You have to train your crews properly. You can't just hire someone and throw them out in the field and expect them to know how to handle situations. Each day is different. They're going to come up against situations that they've never encountered before. I don't care if they've been working 6 months. I don't care if they've been working a year. They're always going to encounter situations that they haven't come across before, and these situations may be challenging, but if they're trained properly and they have the proper equipment, they should be able to navigate through any obstacle, right? So you must train your crews properly. And then as an owner operator, you need to be trained properly. If you're new into the field and you've never been on a truck before, you lack the knowledge of what goes on in the field. So if you're jumping into this box truck business where you're jumping in middle mile or you're jumping in final mile and you have no you don't plan on being a truck learning the game yourself, then you need to hire a mentor or a coach or someone who can train these guys properly. You need to be trained properly, all right? So they can be trained properly. That's the first thing. The second thing is the right equipment. I dropped a bloopers video last week, and you saw 3 or 4 cases of people going upstairs with the wrong equipment, using the wrong equipment on dollies and things like that, using the wrong dolly, I should say, and just making bad decisions because they weren't trained properly or they didn't have the proper equipment, right? So real quick, before I even show you the equipment, let's look at what a claim is. An internal claim is a legal demand for payment that may be satisfied only from the assets of a business. All right, so you got a business, you got your box trucking business, your logistics company, whatever it's called, ABC Trucking Logistics, whatever it's called. Once you sign up with this logistics company to carry their freight, if something happens, they're going to go against your company. They're going to deduct that. Whatever was damaged, they're going to deduct that from your settlement, all right? So now that we got that out the way, let's talk about proper equipment. Let's start with final mile. You're running final mile. You're delivering appliances. You're delivering furniture. you're going to need a few things. All right, let's go look at this website here. All right, these are, I don't want to start with the hump straps. Let's start with let's go here. Give me 1 second. Let's start with appliance dollies. All right, you're going to need a good appliance dolly when you're running freight, right? When you're running freight, you're going to need a good appliance dolly, right? So this is a good website to use when you're buying like high-end equipment for your truck. So let's take a look at an appliance dolly, and then I'm going to recommend the right dolly. I don't know why my computer's moving slow this morning, but there it goes. All right, let's look at this one. I like this one. This is a 1,200 pound capacity appliance dolly. All right, if you look at it, it has the strap right here. This is when you put your refrigerator on the lip, and then you're gonna hold it into place, hold it into position here, right? So that when you do stand the dolly up, the force of the weight of the refrigerator doesn't take the dolly forward, and that refrigerator goes tumbling. If you look at that bloopers video that I put out last week, right? It also has this extra support right here, so you're not necessarily, when you lean it back, you're not holding all that weight and balancing it, so you got the extra support there. All right, and this is a good dolly. This is the type of dolly you want to get when you're carrying like appliances like refrigerators, washers, and dryer. This strap is very, very, very important. All right, so this is what you want to get when you're dealing with appliances. You also want to get a furniture dolly. I'm just going to show you guys what this stuff looks like. I like to get the high cap furniture dollies. This is a high cap furniture dolly, and then that appliance dolly was like $275, right? When you're getting the right equipment, you're going to spend a little money. You have to invest a little money into getting the right equipment so that you set your crews up for success, right? All right, this is a high cap furniture dolly. I like to use the rubber ones, all right? This is what you're going to set. You can set washers and dryers on these things when you're rolling them, right? You know what I'm saying? This takes the pressure and this off the crews, so they don't have to carry this stuff from the truck to the door, or if you're delivering to an apartment building, they don't have to carry this stuff. It kind of takes the pressure off them. You got to remember, these guys are going to be out all day. Depending on the market, these guys may have to do 20 stops. So you want to take as much pressure off your crew as possible. You don't want to tire them down. One of the main issues why people start making mistakes, and if you look at statistics, most guys start making mistakes towards the end of the day when they're tired, and then they get mentally frustrated. So you don't want to tire these guys down. You don't want to get them mentally frustrated. So you want to supply them with all the proper equipment that they need to take as much stress off them as possible. So you want to get one of these dollies so that they can push stuff down hallways, smaller things like like end chairs, sofas. You can set a washer or dryer on top of that, or you can get this one right here where it's flat. You can set it, and then you can put a strap under this, so once you set something heavy on top of this, you can kind of pull it, and then when you're going upstairs, if it's like a washer or dryer, you got your strap under there. The guy at top wraps the strap around, the guy on the bottom wraps it around, kind of use his shoulder as he's going up. The thing sits on top of the dolly. Then when they get to the top of the stairs, they're just setting the dolly down, the strap, and you can just pull it. Furniture pads. And like I said again, I'm just doing a visual so that you guys can actually see. I don't want to describe something and then you guys not know what I'm talking about. Let's see, furniture pads. All right, so you can get different types of furniture pads. I usually use the thicker ones. They cost more money, but the thinner ones tend to tear more easily. Over time, they tear. So you kind of want to get the ones that are thicker because they last longer. They are more money, but like I said, they're going to protect the furniture a lot better, especially when you get into tight situations where the item might be squeezing through something. It's going to give it that extra cushion. Now, these are the 35-pound ones. These are on the lower end of the quilted furniture pads. They have furniture pads that are heavier, right? That are heavier, and those are the thicker ones that I'm talking about, right? Those are about $129, all right, for a dozen, all right? So you kind of want to, these might be them right here. You kind of want to shop around too. Some websites are a little bit more pricier than others, all right? I'm sorry, my computer, I don't know what's going on. It's moving kind of slow. Comcast is tripping this morning. All right, so look, these are the thicker ones. You definitely want to get the 80-inch ones. All right, these are the thicker ones. They're charging $259 for a dozen on these right here. All right, so those are the pads. The reason why you want to get pads is because when you get to the loadout at the logistics company in the morning, if you're in a market where you're doing 20 stops and you're doing appliances and you're in a 26-foot truck, that truck is going to get full really quick, really fast. So you have to reduce a lot of that packaging that these items come in. So a lot of styrofoam, a lot of cardboard, a lot of plastic. You're going to have to reduce that. You have a refrigerator in a big box, but then it's got styrofoam that's probably 3 inches to 4 inches thick that's making that box come out, and then the crate at the bottom of it. You got to get rid of all that sometimes. And then once you take that stuff off, you're going to have to wrap it, you know what I'm saying, to prevent it from getting damaged. The worst thing that can happen is you deliver a $3,000 refrigerator to a person's home and it's got damaged in transport, because then they're going to refuse it. When it gets back to the logistics company, they're not, somebody's got to pay for that. They're not going to pay for it. They're going to charge it back to you. So when you remove all that packaging, you got to wrap that stuff. So you wrap it with these pads. They take up less space as far as the packaging is concerned with the styrofoam, right? But it protects it in transport, right? So now we got the dollies out the way. We got the wrapping out the way. Let's talk about straps. Let's talk about straps. All right, so the first strap I want to talk about is hump straps. Hump straps are good for certain things when you're going up flights of stairs. These are good for like dressers and chests and things of that nature. You got the guy at the top. If you're going up, let's say 2 flights of stairs, 3 flights of stairs, if it's something that real sturdy, but it's real tall, right? You got the guy at the top. He throws the straps underneath. It kind of snags onto 2 of the legs. You lean it back. It's sitting on his chest. The guy at the bottom is supporting the weight while it's on that incline going up on that slant. This guy can keep going up. You don't have to stop at each landing and reposition. It has enough space and agility so he has the straps and he's just sitting and he can turn and go all the way up, right? Next thing you got is shoulder straps. These is what these guys were using in that blooper video that I put out last week when they were trying to bring that refrigerator up those 6 or 7 stairs. It didn't call for shoulder straps. That's why they had the situation they had ran into when the refrigerator went tumbling down the stairs. They should have been using appliance dolly. These shoulder straps are for, like, say you're not dealing with any steps, right? Let's say you take it off the back of the truck, you set it on the shoulder strap, you're just walking straight, but you got to navigate through a lot of obstacles. So you don't want to set the thing down and spin it. You kind of keep it on the strap. The middle strap is supporting all the weight. You got your hands here, and as you're going through these obstacles, you're turning it. You know what I'm saying? This prevents setting it down so many times, because the more times you set it down, the more opportunity you have to scratch a floor or to create some type of damage. You want to keep rolling with this thing, right? Especially a refrigerator. You clear your path. Before you even get into the house, you do a walkthrough. You ask the customer, where is this refrigerator going? Where is this washer and dryer going, right? Ma'am, you got to move this stuff out the way. Technically, you're not there to move furniture if you're doing delivery. It's up to them to clear the path, Tell them to clear the path. You know what? This picture is going to have to come off the wall because it's going to be tight coming up these stairs. You know what? You may have to take that lampshade, that drop down lampshade, or that canopy lamp, or whatever it's called. You're going to have to remove that because we're not going to have enough clearance, right? You do your walkthrough. You make sure your path is clear. That's another thing. Make sure your path is clear. Don't just pull up to a person's home to do a delivery, especially for something big like a sofa or a refrigerator, and you just take the stuff off the truck and just carry it in. Do a walkthrough first. Do a walkthrough. All right. So you got your shoulder straps. All right. And then you might want to get some forearm straps. Let's see if this website has them. Forearm straps. Man, my computer's moving slow this morning. All right, this website doesn't have them. Let's check out. Let's see, forearm straps. All right, boom. All right. Now, I don't recommend forearm straps. You know, we usually use hump straps or shoulder straps. But the forearm straps can come in handy sometimes for certain things. The way they're using them in this example is not what we would use. We would use the shoulder straps for this, but you can use this for tying them to like furniture dollies to pull. Putting one of the straps under the furniture dolly, tying it in, and like I said, if you're going up with maybe like not a washer and dryer like this one that's on a pedestal, but maybe if it was just this and you were going up a flight of stairs, you put it on a flat furniture dolly or a flat dolly, put one of the straps underneath there, tie it up. The guy's using the strap, he wraps it around, he's coming up with it. The guy on the bottom is using his shoulder, got on, and then as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, you set it down, and then you can just pull the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how we utilize it. All right. So now we got the equipment out the way, and I just gave you guys a brief example. I can get more elaborate with how to use this equipment, but I'm trying to keep this video to a certain time limit. You can always sign up for your mentorship, and I can really get elaborate with how to use this equipment. So we got the equipment. We know that you need to train your guys. So now let's talk about when claims do happen and you have to do the hard and difficult thing about deducting something out someone's paycheck. Let's talk about how to do it ethically and how to do it, with some type of moral compass. The way I do things, the way I handle claims is at the time of hire, right? I give each employee a handbook. I give them a handbook, right? And it's up to them to read this handbook or not. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? If they read it or if they don't read it. And once I give them this handbook, right? I make them sign off that they received it, right? Right? So now after I do all my training, right? They have the proper equipment. When a claim comes back and I have to deduct something, they can't get to complaining. Because you know what the first thing I'm going to say is, did you read your handbook? No, I didn't read my handbook. What handbook? The handbook, you signed off on it on July 15th, 2022. Here's your signature. You signed off, received employee handbook. They can't say nothing. You got to cover yourself. I'm not saying cover yourself from like legal things or anything of that nature, but cover yourself as far as morally, you know what I'm saying, and ethically. You gave them a handbook. They didn't read it. They chose not to read it, you know what I'm saying. One of the main things when you take money out of a person's check and they know that, if they screw up when they're out doing these deliveries, and they know they can get deductions if they make a mistake, is each job, when they get to each job, they're going to take it very, very seriously, because in the back of their mind, they know if they screw something up, it's coming out of their check. It's coming out of their check. You can fold as a business. I've seen claims fold people. The right claim for the right dollar amount can put you out of business. Claims are very serious in this industry. And let's get out of the final mile. Let's even talk about doc to doc. I know there's people watching. Well, I'm in doc to doc. I'm not dealing with no employees. Yeah, you can, because you can have a driver out, right? And he might not tie the load. He might not strap the load. He might not use the ratchet straps. He might not use ratchet straps. He may just load the pallets and not ratchet strap to hold them to the wall or hold them to the back of the truck. And then this guy may be texting or something on his phone, right? And slam the brakes, and then the whole pallet slides. Happened to one of my trucks before. You know what I'm saying? You're not out on the truck, so you don't know what these guys are doing. You don't know what's going through their brain. You don't know what happened to them mentally before they came to work, so they may be thrown off. I'm not saying that they're just all the way incompetent, but people are human. They go through things just like we all do. So if the guy forgets to strap something down, right, the load can tip over. It can slide. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So it can happen on doc to doc too. That's why I'm saying make sure you have a handbook, and in that handbook it states that any claims they're responsible. If once they touch it, they're responsible for it, right? Let's talk about property. Keep a good handyman. For small things, property, like your largest claim for property is going to be patch and paint, wall damage, door frame damage, you know what I'm saying? Banisters, railings, stuff like that. Keep a handyman. Don't file general liability for patch and paint. Just fix that. Keep you a handyman, send them out. The more claims you put on your general liability, one or two things is going to happen when you're up for renewal. One, they're going to drop you, or two, your premium is going to go up. So save your general liability for the big stuff. Anything that's less than $1,000, even $1,000, $1,500, just pay for that stuff yourself. If your crew is at fault, just pay for it. Trust me, it's not worth filing a general liability claim for patch and paint, right? All right, because patch and paint is going to happen. There's going to be times where they're going to scuff a wall. Some of the stuff these people order is just too big or too bulky for the living conditions they're living in anyway. And that leads me into this next point. And I spoke on this on the live stream the other day. In this industry, especially in final mile, the customer is not always right. This isn't the hospitality industry. The customer is not always right. And if you follow that mind frame and that way of thinking in this business, you're going to have a lot of claims. You know why? Because people order things. They order these big refrigerators. They order these big 93-inch sofas, and they live in these small apartments, and they're in the store and this stuff looks good. They buy mansion furniture for a 700 square foot apartment, right? And then when you get there, right, ma'am, I don't know if this is going to fit. This is going to be tight. Well, you know what? Just make it fit, please, just please make it fit. Don't worry about the wall. We can paint the wall or blah, blah, Skippy. Don't worry about it. Just please get it in. Then a few things are going to happen in that situation. You're going to want to appease the customer for whatever reason. I don't know. All right. You try to get it in. You get it in, but now you done forced it in. And the thing is wrapped in everything, but you done put so much pressure on it, you done damaged either the item, or you done damaged the wall, or you done damaged the door frame, or you done did something. And guess what? Well, we need to talk about this wall. What's going to happen? Well, ma'am, you said don't worry about it. But now that they done flipped the script on you, And then when they call back to the company is going to put the claim on the logistics company, and the logistics company is going to put the claim on you. So what I'm saying is follow your first mind. You're the professional, not the customer. You do this every day, day in, day out. If you don't think it's gonna work and it's gonna work efficiently, right, without causing damage, then don't do it. I mean, the worst thing that's gonna happen is you're not gonna get paid for that stop, right? They may send another crew out from a different company and they may successfully get it done, right? But the worst thing that's going to happen is you're not going to get paid, right, for that stop. Or you can force it in and cause damage and be billed a lot more than what you would have gotten paid if the delivery would have went successfully, right? So it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it, right? If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. Period. Don't let the customer gas you into doing something that you don't feel comfortable doing, or you know this is not going to work. You know this is not going to work because it's going to ultimately come back to bite you in the behind at the end of the day. So don't do it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can go deeper and deeper and deeper into claims, but those are the main things. You want to train your crews properly. You want to make sure they have the right equipment. So you want to set them up for success by training them properly, making sure they have the right equipment. You want to provide them a handbook. In this handbook, you're stating that, they are responsible 100% for claims, right? You want to make them sign off on that handbook, right? And then another thing is when you do get claims and you're deducting and stuff, do have some type of moral compass, because the logistics company will work with you. They're not going to just take $3,000 or $2,000 out of your settlement all at one time. They're going to do it over a span of time. They may take $100 out each settlement period until it's paid. Do the same thing with your crew. If it's a solid crew that never has any claims, you might want to take the hit on that claim. You know what I'm saying? If this is a crew that's just really efficient, man, they might have been up against something that day. They might have just had a bad day. Now, if it's a crew that's constantly getting claims, you want to do one or two things. You definitely want to charge them, and two, you want to replace them. Sometimes you may want to, what, guys, I'm going to take half of the claim and then I'll deduct the other half from you. You guys split that 50. I'll cover 50% of the cost. So you don't have to be, or you don't have to deduct 100% from these guys each and every time. Play each situation, accordingly. So proper training, proper equipment, handbook, have them sign off on it, and you should see your claims reduce. Go to www.boxtruckcourses.com, sign up for your one-on-one mentorship. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the upcoming videos. And I'm out.